Well, you said that Obama is what we aspire to be, but Trump is who we are.
Obama is aspirational, and I think that Trump, one of the reasons Trump won is because we thought we were much further along than we are. Obama was what we aspired to be. Trump is what we are. Obama is hopeful. Trump is representative of white supremacists. And I don't think it's not unfair to say that a man who actually argued that protesters and Nazis were morally equivalent. That's racism to me. We live in a country right now. They recently proposed putting Harriet Tubman on the front of the $20 bill, but they want to leave Andrew Jackson on the back. So you have a slave on the front and a slave owner on the back. So even when niggas making the money, we still got to supervise.
A slave on the front and a slave owner on the back.
And that's the American, that is the equivalent of the Missouri Compromise for everybody. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So even right now, the elections have been decided. The whole electoral college, we gave people who lost some shit so they would feel less inferior. We gave them more power than they actually deserve because we didn't want them to feel bad. And they've been fucking America ever since.
I mean, what did you think when Trump equated, General E. Lee to Robert E. Lee to Washington and Jefferson?
Well, Washington and Jefferson never took up arms against the Republic. They owned slaves,
right,
but they never took up arms against the United States of America. And then, if you don't want those statues, don't want those statues to come down, don't lose. You fucking lost. When do losers get a trophy? How the fuck losers get a trophy? When you lose, you go home and tell your daddy you lost. You don't get a fucking trophy for losing. You lost. Every time you see one of those a Confederate flag, it is a trophy to a motherfucker that got his ass whipped. And he still gets a trophy.
Right. Killer Mike actually came out with some T-shirts that had like the Confederate flag 0 and the American flag 1. It was like a scoreboard.
Right. We pretend like, come on now. You lost. And if they're going to keep those monuments, they should if you want them, put them in your backyard. Or put them in all black and Mexican neighborhoods and let them put graffiti all over it. Puppet was here. That'd be hilarious to me.
You and Lupe have gone back and forth a couple times about not voting.
One time. I think that Lupe Fiasco, Killer Mike, these cats have all made assertions that it doesn't count. The vote doesn't count. They're all kind of the same thing. And I remember particularly in this last election cycle, they were talking about how, basically you should vote and they're not the same thing and they're both the two sides of the same coin. Does it feel that way? Can anybody make the reasonable argument that they're morally equivalent? That Trump and Clinton are morally equivalent? They can't.
Well, I mean, me and Scarface had a conversation about this, after the election. And the one thing he said was that he doesn't think black people really had a dog in the fight.
We don't.
If you look at Hilary Clinton and you look at what her
I don't know.
husband did,
I think that once we had a justice system that put moratoriums on brutal police departments. We had a justice system that was trying to reduce mandatory sentencing. We had a justice system that all of a sudden was making marijuana legal or to decriminalize marijuana, and a large percentage of the black men in prison are in prison for marijuana. We had a justice system that wasn't looking into whether there was discrimination against white kids on college campuses. In other words, that stopped them from being admitted. So you tell me, is that the same or not? You think that would be happening under another administration?
You're talking about the Obama administration.
No, I'm talking about how
the Clinton administration.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, but she ain't him. So she was his wife. That's just like dope dealers' wives don't go to jail for what they do. They don't. So that would be like everything I've done, putting that label on my wife. That's my wife. She wasn't running the government. She wasn't a member of government. She wasn't an elected official. She was his wife. So to use that to qualify the fact that her and Trump were morally equivalent is why we're in the same situation right now.
Well, she was the first lady.
Sure.
And
so
it seemed like the two of them were intellectual equals. So when you
That's
look at,
probably
for
true.
example, so I mean, like, for example, like, I would assume that you and your wife come up with important decisions together.
No.
Right?
No.
Never?
I think that my wife tells me what we need to spend to make her happy in terms of her house. But other decisions I make.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
think, no,
I mean-
we're not collaborating. My wife don't write my HBO special. She doesn't write my jokes for me. She doesn't tell me what to think. So I think that you can't suspend that knowledge and then apply it to somewhere else. Do you think that Ivanka Trump is telling Trump to say the dumb shit he says? You think
You're
that
talking
she's
about, you're
involved
talking
in
about
policy?
Melania?
Melania Trump is involved in policy. You think she's involved in pitching the Muslim ban? So you can't suspend it for one person and not do it for another. I don't understand how that works. If I sue a doctor for malpractice, he may talk to his wife about it all the time, but he's the guy I went to.
Right, except that when you look at Hillary Clinton and the super predator comments and so forth, it
Sure.
seems like her and Bill were equivalent at a certain point.
Yeah, sure. And there's no debating that. No, I'm not gonna moralize or equivocate who did what to who. But I will say there were a lot of there were a lot of black leaders and congressmen and elected officials that felt exactly the same way. Those laws and bills. Look, one of the easiest way to get look, black people go to jail at a rate of we go to jail at a high rate. Black jury send them to jail. So you can't, and all those times when black people were getting convicted and going to jail in large numbers, you can't say just that white people did it. Black people sat on juries and heard the evidence and still judged a certain way. And you can't have it both ways. You got to be able to say that we're involved in the process or we're not. Did they commit all those crimes in non-urban areas, in rural areas, or were they being tried by juries of their peers? So all of a sudden, no one was responsible from our community for helping those large numbers of black men go to jail. There's culpability on our side too, in terms of not our side, because I wasn't an elected official, but elected officials that sign those bills and lobby for them are equally as responsible. And you don't get to pretend like you're not.
Right, but under Clinton, the laws were changed in a certain type of way.
Absolutely.
That was giving, that was giving sentences for crack that was like 40 times
You're absolutely
for the
right.
equivalent of cocaine.
That's right.
Which was obviously targeted towards black communities.
You're
So you
absolutely
essentially had a whole generation of black men get, put in jail partially
Absolutely right.
because of these laws. There were, getting.
And who was the
20
president that
years
did?
for a bag of crack.
You're
is
absolutely
ridiculous.
right. And what was his name?
Bill Clinton.
Right. You can't tell me that she influenced him to do that, but when she tried to get health care, that got him to lose. That made him lose the Congress. You blame what people successfully did was blamed his woman for the shit he did. Where I'm from, a wife can't even testify against her husband. She can't even, if she's married to him, she can't even tell the shit he did, but she can be indicted for the shit he did. Do you believe that Bernie Madoff's wife is responsible for what he did?
No, you're right. She's still out.
Do you? That's the thing. You successfully went, well, she's a Clinton, she did it, they were married, it's the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, I look at a lot of power couples, and I see a lot of men get to certain positions because of the women around.
Sure.
them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. If the indictment come down, she going to jail too? If he got indicted for Travelgate, or did she get impeached too with the did she help fuck Monica too? Did she? I mean,
I feel.
I don't get these unreasonable arguments that people make. Yes, absolutely. Under that administration, you're absolutely right. And if she were president, I'd have a different argument. But there is no way that I can equate what he did to what she did.